no excuse not to put your stuff away. And I embrace that. There's rarely ever an excuse. It just so happened to be, well, I thought with that one off, I was going to need to just have those tools again, so why put them all away, only to then have to reassemble the kit and then throw it in the back of my truck. Bit me in the caboodle. Good morning, folks. Steve here. How you doing? Well, I have committed an egregious trailer sin. And this doesn't happen very often, and there's a reason why I committed this sin. However, I committed it nonetheless, and it bit me in the caboodle. Now, it's an ass most of the time. However, it's a caboodle if it's cute. And I tend to think I have a cute one, so caboodle. What was the sin? Well, all of this. Bag of tools, 2 tool belts, my little 2-step, my 4-step, and no, I already unplugged it, so I don't have lights in there. And I have my Klein bag, which is all of the rest of my electrical I take in on a bigger electrical job. All of this just packed in the aisle. And this trailer was not ready to go. Most of the time, 99% of the time, I drop that ramp and I look in and I am ready to go. Today, not so much. Well, what happened was, rather than putting it all away like I almost always do, and I would say always, except obviously no, thus this video, I had last week, 2 weeks ago. Anyway, point being is, I had a job where I was a subcontractor. The primary contractor, the GC, said, hey, I need you here for a day to kind of run through a punch list of things. And they sent me the punch list, and that was great. And they said, please don't bring your trailer because we may be limited on space for parking and everything else. So I understood. Well, I simply came in, I loaded out into the back of my truck everything that I thought I needed, and I nailed it. That night, I brought it all back, assuming that I was going to be called in the following day for another 4 or 5 hours of continued punch list, which I had volunteered for because I saw that they were kind of in a crisis situation. And so I just reached out and I said, hey, you know, I could do these 3 or 4 things if you call me back up. I will take care of them for you, no problem. And they came back and they said, no, that's okay, we got it. Well, they didn't make their deadline. Not my problem. But I think there was a bit of frustration and pride involved, and we got this. Why I was called in then the one day, I don't know. And it was purely tactful as a volunteer. I was just trying to help out. And yeah, it's more money for me. So, you know, certainly, you know, there's the profit margin. However, it was really also in spirit of, man, I see you were under the crunch. I didn't present it that way. I just said, hey, if you want me to come back. They did not. All right, besides the psychology, all I simply had done was anticipating that I was going back the following day and I couldn't take my trailer, I would need pretty much the same tools. So I just lined them all up. I had stuff on the countertop and all that. And this morning I realized, I knew they didn't call me back. And so I knew that all these tools were in there. So this morning when I came out and I hooked up to the trailer and I had to unplug from shore power over here, I'm getting ready to wind in the extension cord. I knew that I was going to have to kind of pull things out and kind of get things back in their place enough to travel. All right, well, anyway, the egregious sin. So this morning I have another 10 minutes of, besides this video, I have another 10 minutes of just getting around and putting things where they can travel before I get to the job site, about 20 minutes in that direction, and pull most of it back out again because of what I'll be doing today. Well, hey, thank you very much for sticking with me, folks. If you would, please like and subscribe. Great way to say thank you. Ring that bell if you want to get notified when I drop a new video. I certainly hope you see me on this next video. And word to the wise, with a trailer like this, with a build out like this, or some other build out where it's highly organized, no excuse not to put your stuff away. And I embrace that. There's rarely ever an excuse. It just so happened to be, well, I thought with that one off, I was going to need to just have those tools again, so why put them all away, only to then have to reassemble the kit and then throw it in the back of my truck. Bit me in the caboodle. I said about caboodles. You'll take care. Bye.